Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video. I'm about to go on another one of my 500-mile trips, but this is a little bit different. Today is the 2-year anniversary of my buying the Bolt EV. Yeah, we're celebrating my 2-year anniversary with the Bolt EV with a 500-mile trip that I, pretty regularly make. So I can't think of anything more appropriate than that. On all of my long trips, I usually try to make my first leg about 200 miles. Leaving from Northern California, that's pretty easy because it's mostly downhill. I have about 1,000 to 1,500 foot net elevation loss. On the way down, I did decide to swing by the Electrify America charger that hadn't yet gone live and done again. I just wanted to check to see how the build was going and just check out the site and then head on down. This trip was also after Electrify America had finally brought their Livermore site online in the San Francisco premium outlets, and I did want to check that site out. It was a little bit out of my way, so by the time I stopped, I still had pretty close to a quarter of a battery left, and the detour did end up adding about an hour to an hour and a half to my trip, mostly because many of the chargers were blocked by electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids that couldn't actually use the chargers, and the ones that were available when I arrived weren't functioning or needed to be rebooted. I'm here at Livermore, which is a new Electrify America site in California. It's a really nice implementation at a premium outlets, San Francisco premium outlets in Livermore. Charging now at over 50 kilowatts. All right, time to end the charge. We're down to the step down. This should be more than enough to get me to my next destination, so we're going to go ahead and stop. After charging up for about 20 minutes at the Electrify America site, I had more than enough energy to make it to my next stop, which was the Recargo chargers in Prunedale, California, just north of Salinas. Well, we're here at Recargo. Prunedale here is, not that far south, about 100 miles south of San Francisco. I'm going to stick around here. This is a cool charging location. The big problem with taking Highway 101 is just the gap between chargers. I'm going to just plan out the next leg of my trip because this is the hardest leg until we get some new chargers online. Here we are. We've already stepped down in charge rate. Yeah, we're actually past 30 minutes now. We're pretty close in price right now with the $9 and versus the Electrify America, but as you can see, we have nearly 10 additional kilowatt hours of energy added for the same cost. So, and this is with a long step down into a slower charge rate. So as you can see, this is a much more economical charger. Just so you can see how much power the heater is drawing, here we are, net 24 kilowatts going to the battery, 30 kilowatts being drawn from the charger. All right, well, we're about to end our charge here at the Recargo station. As you can see, I kind of went ahead and waited until 80%. I decided not to shut it off early, but we're at an hour. But also because I'm running the heater, you can see that the actual energy consumed right now is far higher. The average rate was basically 43 kilowatts across the entire hour. So starting from about 12% charge, we basically got to 80% in just over an hour. I'm just going to go ahead and stop charging. Charge complete. So essentially it was a $15 charge, and you can see the step down here, but I went from 12% to 80%. Max charge rate was 55 kilowatts, which is typical, and then the average charge rate was about 42 kilowatts. So even though I stayed longer, that's sort of what you can expect. And though it is a bit expensive, basically for $6 more than the Electrify America, I added more than double the energy, or at least I took more than double the energy from the charger. And here you can kind of see where I dipped down and then I turned the heater on and then it came back up again. So, uh, yeah, and that's pretty common. The Bolt EV will take extra power. So, done. And we're going to be out of here. Also, uh, yeah, I was all alone. This is definitely a holiday rush. Thank you, Recargo. The gap between Salinas and San Luis Obispo is still pretty far. San Luis Obispo right now only has two chargers, but we have two other sites that are currently being constructed and about to go online. So that's going to be a great stopping point, but it's this big gap on Highway 101 in between that makes the trip so difficult. The 24 kilowatt charge point charger in King City does look like it's up now, but still, I only like to rely on that as an emergency. All right, well, we got here just about when was estimated, but I used a little bit more energy than I anticipated. The temperature actually dropped down into the mid 30s, like 35 degrees along the way. So I ended up using more energy than I thought I would. Probably about 75%, maybe 77. But I don't I really don't get this. Why would you just leave a charger on the ground? Is it that difficult to pick up? And this is the kind of thing that I'm really hoping we see Electrify America adopt. Just a simple, basic RFID chip in combination with an app. I mean, the app is a nice backup, but frankly, yeah, we're down to 2%, so we use 78. But but frankly, just using this just makes things so much easier when you're charging, to just swipe and not have to deal with a credit card and not have to deal with a payment system that's might be broken. Oh, look, already back up to 3%. We're going to probably be here, my guess is about 40 to 45 minutes. Relative to the other two chargers that we used, this charger is very slow. One thing that I think gets overlooked with electric vehicles is these charge sessions actually give you nap times. I'm going to take this opportunity to get a little bit of a cat nap. And, after this, we still have almost 2 hours of driving to get back. So I'm not anticipating getting back home before maybe 1 a.m. All right, well, I overslept a little bit, but I kind of want as much charge as I can get just based on the fact that it's still in the low 40s now, and I don't know what the temperature is going to be like going over the pass or the wind. Also, while I'm here, I figure I'm going to swing by the Calle Joaquin site where Recargo is putting in another four charger site where they should be at least 100, maybe 150 kilowatt chargers, and I'll see how the construction is going. Originally, it was slated for being open at the beginning of this year, but it looks like they hit delays. So let's just see what they're up to. So this is the current status of the Recargo chargers right by Maggie's Diner. All right, well, another successful 500-mile trip in the books. Not completely. I'm low, and I don't have charging at home, so I'm just going to do a quick hookup here at my local DC fast charger. And I should be down to, I think, 4 to 5% at this point. Could be 3, but I think it's probably 4. So as I do a quick top up so I have enough charge to make it into work comfortably tomorrow, I figured I'd just close out on my 2 years of ownership. And I think this trip sort of illustrates it. I actually dipped really low into the battery a couple of times with the Bolt EV, and I know some people think that I have too much of a risk appetite or whatever in terms of the Bolt EV, but it I think illustrates the level of trust that I have with this vehicle. I actually think, the Bolt EV, in my opinion, people ask about its reliability, but it's not reliable. It's just dependable, and I've come to depend on it for basically all of my transportation needs. There are a few occasions where I might use our F-150, but it is a special use vehicle only. Basically, everything else is the Bolt EV's responsibility, and it carries itself well. Just generally speaking, it's the most capable vehicle I've ever owned. And I think at this point, even 2 years after its release, it's still the most complete, capable EV available for less than $40,000. And I think that's saying something that GM is literally, 2 years ahead of all of their competitors. And a random person in the United States could buy it, replace their internal combustion engine vehicle, and never really look back. My opinions of the Bolt EV haven't really changed over the last 2 years. If anything, I'm just more impressed with what GM has been able to do for the amount of money that they were able to do it for, with the amount of technology that was available at the time and at the time at which they were able to make this vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It helps me do these sorts of videos on the Bolt EV, traveling on EVs, on the public charging infrastructure, where we are and where we're going. And thank you for watching.